There's something going on. Something's eating it or something. Look at that. Look at that rot. That's dudes, I'm not feeding you. Wondering if I just have a little bit too much alkaline. I've got a lot of Xenia, but I love Xenia. Sorry that you guys have to look at that. Today is day 3 that I'm noticing my leathers polyps are not extending at all. So this is the 3rd morning, and I don't know if the fish are nipping at it, but this one here, this is day 1 that it has not extended. So now all 3 of my leathers, my lime green yellow leathers, and I'm noticing a little bit of something going on right there on the end of that. At first I thought, oh, maybe the fish are nipping at it, because whenever I go to touch it, they kind of, the polyps recede, and then you don't see them for a few hours. And so I thought, oh, maybe the fish are messing with it or something. I'm going to check my alkalinity. I thought I had that under control, but I went and looked at my doser this morning, and I noticed that I've been dosing kalkwasser, and then I've been adding vinegar to the kalkwasser because my evaporation has not been sufficient. But then I forgot to turn the sodium bicarbonate off, and so I'm wondering if I just have a little bit too much alkalinity. So I'm going to go in there and test that right away. I don't think it's my alkalinity. It's a little, pushing it, 9.4. But it was 9.5 a week ago. So I don't know. And that is up from 8.2, 9.5. Kind of pushing it. So I'm going to back off on dosing the and sodium bicarbonate. Is it sodium bicarbonate? Whatever the baking soda stuff. And I'm just going to only dose the kalkwasser. But let's go ahead and investigate magnesium, calcium as well. Well, my nitrates are 0, so there's got to be a pest in there. I don't know what's going on. This is really aggravating. My phosphate, at first I thought it was showing green, but now that I look at it, it depends on what light I put this thing under. But I walk all over the place. The only light that it's showing, the brownish green, is an LED light. I go outside and it's showing 0, which is pretty good because, well, actually I don't know if it's good. Maybe I ought to test my nitrates. They say when you bottom out your phosphate that maybe something, you better be keeping low nitrates. Is that what the deal is? You don't want high nitrates and low phosphate. But last time I checked out back in November, 2 months ago, it was 0.25. So they lowered. Is that a bad thing? I know most people say too high is a bad thing. You kind of want to ride it in the 0.2 level, but or 0.02. Am I saying 0.25? Yeah. Anyway, okay. Everything else, pH 8.1. That is kind of low because my pH. Well, that's funny. I didn't even check my pH in December, but I usually drop that meter in there every day, and it rides around 8.2, 8.4 back in summer, and then November and December 8.2. So it's kind of been dropping over the winter, which is expected because you keep the windows closed, and you're reproducing the CO2 or whatever. All your breath is taking up the oxygen in the room and lowering your pH, which is not happy about it, but. So this is a week later. It's only a drop of 0.1. My alkalinity I thought was going to be jamming on up above 10. I've had it to 11 and almost 12 before, and and took a couple of, maybe 3 weeks to bring the elk down. But and nothing happened then, so there's got to be something else going on in this tank. Leathers, man. I don't know what's going on with the leathers. I mean, it's got to be a problem with the water. Please excuse the dirty tank. I just went and picked up the camera. Do y'all see anything else in here that I might be missing? And polyp extension's pretty good on my stylophora. My slime greens seem to be growing. My Monty is growing. Little Monty with low light is growing. These guys were almost dead here. I've got some zinnia growing in them. There's something going on. Something's eating it or something. Look at that. Look at that rot. Dudes, I'm not feeding you. Oh my God. Can't film anything in here. Like my King Kongs. King Kong's looking good. Got one there and one over here. Pretty happy about those. I don't know what that dude is growing inside there. Just kind of appeared one day. You can see it's taking up space. Maybe it's an old piece of coral that I dropped in there and forgot all about it. Another thing that I am kind of noticing now is my anemones are kind of bubbling up, like a lot more than they normally do. Like this guy usually has the tentacles out a little bit more than it does, but they're really bubbling up. I love him bubbled. This dude's staying spaghetti. He was bubbled up. But ever since those clowns get in there, it's not bubbling up as much anymore. This guy right here has really long tentacles and it kind of spaghettis like this dude. But in the last couple of weeks, it's really been bubbling up. I thought maybe it was because I was raising my alkalinity, but I don't know what's going on. I hope maybe somebody sees something. I'm going to do some filtering of water. And I'm going to do a 20% water change. See if that does anything. Seems like there's a lot more junk in the water right now than normal. So maybe the filter in the back, although I cleaned it over Christmas break, which was, 3 weeks ago now? Man, I cannot figure it out. My clovers are doing pretty well back there, and my candy cane coral. I keep trying to put this candy cane coral, but it's growing algae on it, and my tang gang gets all over it, and so next thing you know, it's on the floor. I had some GSP growing on there. GSP is hiding. I wonder if there's some kind of flatworm thing that's going on in there. But why would it hit all three of them? I just don't like the way this guy looks. What I might do, I've got another tank that I've started up, and I might just grab this one and toss it in there with some pure clean water. I mean, everything else, I can't see anything. I cannot see what is going on in there. Those Montes, they are not showing up really well on the camera, I can tell, because my screen is pretty dirty. My Jedi mind trick. I'm going to start working on the lights in this tank and see if I can't get some of those colors to pop out a little bit more, because these Vipar spectrums, they grow coral like crazy, no problem. No issues with that. But there's certain colors that just don't pop out. Like these anemones, They look so much more spectacular when you add some of the other red and greens and maybe even some violets to them. It makes a few more of the colors pop, and it's just not happening here in this tank. I know it happens in other people's tanks because when I go and trade corals, I can see they look much better in their tanks than they do in my tanks. In my tank. Blech. I need clean glass. Sorry, I'm talking too long. I'm really glad. I'm actually proud of myself that I did not overreact. As we can see here, some of the polyps did start popping out. This was after the second week. So it took a long time, and all I really did was do water change. And I did employ some mechanical filtration, which I'll show in a later video what I did. But I think it had to have been a shedding of slime because, and I never saw it. I never saw anything being shed off of the leathers, but I just have to go from what I read on the forums, and some people helped me out. They looked at my situation, they looked at my leathers, I did some close-up photography for them, and they thought for sure that's what it was. And so I really bit back and I did not touch anything. Here we are approximately a month later, and it's looking beautiful. Love how it grips onto the rock there. Trunk is nice and healthy. Polyps fully extended. Now I was in here earlier today and I was dropping in some coral, and I happened to brush by this dude, so he's back in hiding. And the other one I have plopped into a different tank that I have going. So this is how they all look though. That's how they're supposed to look. And if I get the right lighting on there, you can see the lemon lime. The lemon is the yellow on the outside, kind of white, and then the lime is deep on the inside, and it's really beautiful. I need to get on top of that lighting. Spicy Reef here, signing off.
Now what are you doing?
I think I got it.